Welcome, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Andang,
Hey everybody.
Terry Adwin,
Hi, hi.
Erithert,
Muted. Hi.
and Carvette.
At your service and your families.
And Maven is taking a rest this week.
She's on
So let us
vacation.
head right into our news, and that is we just had the new server tech beta test number 2 this afternoon, where we did our best to see how fast we could break down Bull Roar.
Took longer this time. It was like a
Yeah,
20
but
year.
once it got down, we couldn't get back in.
Well, they had that problem last time too.
Well, you
And
got
it
a
was
point
good
there.
that they brought it down, and that's what messed it up. It wasn't that the servers themselves crashed.
I get you have a
So
point
that
there.
is a plus this time.
And at the point when they had 1,800 people at least on at the time, I was able to run through a full skirmish, which means that the system was able to handle me running as because last time 2 weeks ago when I was trying to run a skirmish during it, it was like
Yeah, it went a lot better this time, I thought.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think so too.
Yeah, I think the first half hour there was up to 2,300 before they brought it down the first time.
Yep.
At least I saw that note right before I logged in. Had real life impede.
Right. And that is it except for our store sales. So anything interesting on sale this week?
Well, our free sample of the week is a universal solvent. Use coupon
Yippity-doo.
code for people that like to do essence crafting or crafting in general. Universal solvents, if you can get them free, it's worth it. Use coupon code that you can find in the show notes one time per account because it's still a bunch of gibberish. Also, 25% off traveler stuff. So, milestone skills, hurried returning and expedient traveler, riding traits, and the simple rally horn. So, actually, a pretty good sale this week. Now is the time to get account wide journeyman riding if you don't already have it
Right.
when it's on sale.
Yes.
I may actually
good
have to
point.
pick that up too.
That's when I got it. I waited for it to go on sale. You may end up waiting because we have no idea how long it's going to be till they put it on sale again. So, you want to grab it while you can.
Get it now while it's hot.
Get it now while it's
Enhanced
on
riding
sale.
traits. Come down to Shyster's Farm and pick up your enhanced mount feed. Yes, this feed is guaranteed to make all of your mounts go 125% faster. No refunds.
Catnip included.
Yeah, really.
That
Except you
sounds
like
like
horse
our
nip.
sponsor for this week. So let's go into the players' news because you want that speed.
Why not?
And we had Tales of the Free Folk, episode 5 prologue is posted.
Yes, Pineleaf. That was an interesting question. Your voice got higher than I think I've ever heard. So this was a cool prologue. It goes through basically continuing on the tavern story. And I think it was one of the funniest ones yet. There were some really, really great lines in this. And so if you haven't read these before, read this week's. It's pretty good.
Nick a brick. That is right.
Kevin!
Kevin.
Kevin.
Call him Kevin. Kevin.
Let's go to our poll for this week. And the question is, will you buy updates the Update 17 Quest Pack? And how were people answering?
Well, apparently 45% of our audience is VIP and will not be buying the quest pack.
I was in that group.
And 21% with 50 votes said yes, they already bought it, and the poll should have been last week ending. And yeah, it was my bad for not saying, will you buy this last week? Anyway, 17% said yes, they will in the future. 9% said maybe. 4% said no. 2% said other. And 2% said no, but they will play through the epic story. So only 10 people said that they will not buy the quest pack outright, except for the VIPs.
I want like the option for no, I'm VIP, but I wish I could buy it.
Well, I thought about breaking those up, but I'm guessing most people would say that they would either, just play through it or
See,
whatever.
now
so.
you'll never know.
I won't. But last time we did a poll like this, people asked for a VIP option, so it's better than last time.
They'll always ask you to refine it a little bit more.
That's right.
Mhm.
Then
Those
they won't like it, and they'll ask you to change it back a month later.
pretty much. When
Right.
did we become Turbine? Anyway.
Whoa!
And the family line has part number 66 down Orthron Thurine.
Awesome.
Very
Not-
awesome. I think this
I
is
know
our
it-
longest running series by far that we've ever had.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, probably.
I'm just looking at the screenshot.
Over a year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm
Yes.
looking at the screenshots, and in my head, I'm going, "Look at the bones!"
All right. Let's go to our LOTRO video highlights. Don't be late to a LOTRO raid. And this is a pair of videos. Oh, yes. A pair of hilarious videos.
So, before the show, we have literally like 4 minutes of Carve laughing highlights. Basically the entire length
You know
of this video.
the Hobbit at the end of the whole Tuckborough skirmish thing, where he's like, hoo hoo hoo, ah, ha, ha, like that
Like
laughing
that.
happened for real, and it was kind of terrifying.
It was super terrifying.
Yes, I'm sure it was.
I can relate because I've tried to organize things, and I'm like, let's be there on time at XYZ date.
I know.
And then
That's why.
we all stand around for 15, 20 minutes waiting for the last guy to log in, and I'm like, don't you understand that when it is time for us to do the raid, you've got to be on time?
I have to say that when I was watching that video, I totally heard Carv's voice as the dub going, "You can't be late to the raid. I know we're just a casual kin, but come on, seriously."
It's like, I try to think of myself not as a raid dictator, and I would like to think I'm not, but I can understand his frustration. I'm like, come on, people.
Benevolent dictator, how's that?
Well,
Yeah.
Benevolent.
actually, what I was thinking of when I was
Benevolent
watching the
dictator.
video, I was actually thinking of when you and I and the other people who weren't on the LPA call would be on another call with the LPA folks at the same time and that's
yes.
what that was.
This is the other call. We're the extras. We're coordinating from behind the scenes.
The
No, don't
extras
do
were
that. Ending,
coordinating-
don't do that. No, what do you? Stop! Oh, that's okay. My force taunts off cooldown. I'll save him. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes, and it's interesting that you have two. Now, were these done by two different people or by the same person?
This was actually done by the same person. They did 2 of these parody videos, and there are actually other videos about LOTRO that do parody, but they had really, really low quality videos, so I decided not to include them here. Otherwise, I would have. But there's other of these type of videos out there, so you can look them up.
I could see why this particular scene with the creative subtitles could be used to rant about just about anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, they didn't go there. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a major internet meme, and since we haven't actually explained what the video is yet on the podcast, we probably should give people context, or we could
No,
just
no,
say
no,
to
no,
go
no,
read
no.
the article.
Keep it suspenseful.
Okay,
Yeah,
in
let
that
'em
case,
know.
everyone just go and watch these videos on this week's video highlight.
I will say that while the subject matter of the original video is probably pretty somber and it may not be the most comedic thing, the way it is twisted makes it funny. And so that's just kind of a disclaimer.
Yeah. All right.
All right, let's go to the Ninny Hammers as they perform "It's Raining Men."
One of my favorite songs.
Thank you, Lillicate, for answering what I asked for. This is awesome. There's now an ABC file. It's Raining Men, and I hope people will just go to the base of Minas Tirith and be playing this nonstop. I know that when I was listening to this, I had Minas Tirith up, and so I just heard this in the background while I was at the base of Minas Tirith, just looking up, waiting for players to come down off the top. Oh, it was so great. It was so great.
It's raining men and dwarves
And
and hobbits and elves.
this is one of
You know
the
what'd be
better
great?
adaptations I've heard in LOTRO. It sounded really, really good with the mix she had of the different instruments. It was very well done.
You know, what'd be great is if you had like a group of like made a kinship just for this like thing, and call them like the Minas Tirith Mourners, and all you would do is just hang out in Minas Tirith at the base there and mourn and emote over people and plop funeral pyres down for them if you're a hunter.
Oh, that would be great. And then you have the band like in all black playing a really somber version of It's Raining Men.
Exactly, it'd be great.
And then like play, I Need a Hero. And then when they come down falling flat, you say it's raining men. You switch tunes.
No, you can totally do I Need a Hero for all those people that are playing the intro instance for Minas Tirith.
Yeah. I need a hero.
All right.
Fantastic.
Minas Tirith Mourners, it's got to happen.
Yeah, it does.
I like Mischief and Minas Tirith personally.
Mischief and Minas Tirith. All right, let's head into Poems of the Pine, Prisoner of the Free Peoples, and
Yay!
this one
We
took
haven't had a pine poem in a while.
this chapter took so long to write.
It seems we have had a pause in the Persnickety Pine poems. It's a pleasure to be able to peruse it again.
You have turned on alliteration to 11, apparently.
Crank it up to 11 here. Yeah!
Yes.
So I'll stop.
The scouts had seen no sign of our foes, so we warned them to watch the ways with care. Intimidator, our guest, soon tore from his cell and killed the guards that kept him there. We mourned those lost by laying out stones, then learned of the road the ravagers did take. We followed them east to the fords of Bruinen to search the land for a sign of the ring. In our search we found a home whose cellar hid a book that spoke of keys that were kept well hidden. Then we unlocked the door and desolate we went, where Narmleth was kept for the knowledge of the wise. Oh, from the knowledge of the wise.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
We learned
Yeah.
the truth of the troubles we had when Laredin did hide his love. His daughter he kept in Delisada way to evade the vengeance of the elves.
Awesome, Pineleaf.
This is so much better than actually having to run through those quests. This is
I can spend several hours
this
running back
book
and
in this book in particular is one of the ones that has a lot of annoying back and forth.
I think that's why it was so hard to write.
And
Yeah,
that
I
is
get to
true.
remember
It does.
what
These
you're doing.
poems very much romanticize the experience that you have in LOTRO through these particular quests.
It's kind of like
Well,
being-
let's face it, probably most adventuring poems do.
That's true.
Can
It's like
can
you-
we get an anthology of this at some point and just publish it as like Pineleaf's poems of Lotro?
You could do like a
and then,
table of
advertise
contents,
it as
Pineleaf.
Get her done.
Well, the first anthology is going to be at the end of book 15, at the end of volume 1.
There you go.
Nice.
So it'll be Epic Volume 1, Poems of the Pine.
So let's head into our week in Lotro. And Andang, were you up to anything useful?
Wow.
Wow!
I was getting ready to go into like full competition, and Pineleaf just takes away like my entire like steam that was inside me. All right,
So shot antagonized the host.
man. All right, yes, Pineleaf, I did something this week. You can decide if it's useful or not. I recorded 5 episodes of the Epic Story in response to Pineleaf's challenge last week, so he's antagonizing me even more this week. So it's even more on next week, Pineleaf. You just wait. But over halfway through the Eastern Rohan epic story now, and in the process, I found that I had 407 gigs of temporary video files on my computer. Because Windows Movie Maker, apparently every time you put a video into it, it creates basically a backup copy, and it puts it in temp files, which are supposed to be deleted, but they never get deleted.
Must be the way you do things, because I didn't have anywhere near
Well,
that
apparently
problem.
on a solid state drive, that doesn't happen. So
Yeah, but I don't put my videos on a solid state drive. I put them on my regular drive.
then you're just special, Pinely.
Oh, no, that's right. Actually, my temp files are on a solid state drive. It's my
Yeah,
regular
that's
files.
why, because temp files are stored differently on a solid state. So,
Ah.
so yeah, I removed those, and now my computer runs a lot better, and I have a ton of hard drive space because that's like half my hard drive that's now free. So, that was great, and yeah, did that, and finally, if you're going down, challenge accepted. We're going at this. So, Carv, what have you been up to?
It's my normal height of 6'6". Oh, in Lotro. Well, there was a lot of fun stuff that happened this week, but for the sake of time, I will keep it down to one thing. And that one thing was I was running around on my minstrel this morning in the dark and scary places of Middle-earth, like the Old Forest and the Barrow Downs. I discovered it's really fun when you turn off floating names, because in those dark and scary places where it's nighttime and it's foggy, you don't see things like spiders and wolves and bears. Oh my, when you're running through the forest, because they don't have a huge neon sign above them that says wolf or bear or wait, you're like, oh yeah.
Right. But I don't use. But I've never had a habit of using floating names. I almost always keep them off.
Well, hey, I'll give you props to you because I have floating names on all the time, but I turned them off just by accident, and I figured, oh, what the heck, we'll have fun with it, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. I mean, it definitely increases your immersion of the place, but at the same time, it's cool because you don't see like the gray wolf in the gray shadow under the gray tree in the wolf forest.
See, I
Yeah.
would still know something's there because I don't navigate by looking at the screen. I actually navigate by looking at my mini map.
Oh yeah. Well, you can turn those
See,
off too. You can turn off
yeah,
the
I
red
was
dots.
thinking I might to really crank it up is turn off the red dots because every now and then I would glance up at the mini map and go, oh, okay, there's a red dot there. I'm gonna kind of go around, but it was a lot of fun, so I totally would like. I'm probably gonna do that more often now.
I actually used to play without floaty names, and then there was searching for, and I really loved it. It was fantastically more immersive. It was great. And then there was that one collection quest in one of the swampy areas in the newer place in Great River. And from that point on, I've had floating names on because it is impossible to find those collection things without
Delete.
having floating
Delete.
names on.
Delete.
It's
Yes, select
Delete,
nearest item.
delete, 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 delete.
nonsense.
Go
That's
through spam and
that's
delete.
the easy way to find things.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, and so having a floating neon title above it is not any more difficult. I mean, I can go with saying, okay, I'm in the wilderness. I am an awesome adventurer. I have keenly trained my eyes to see the flashy thing over there. Or I can say I'm a little slow, so I'm going to use my innate sense of direction to natively hone in by the use of a special skill on the item that's over there. Or no, I'm really slow. I think I just want somebody to go through and put a sign in a pile that says, "This is your clickable."
But no, in all seriousness, at that time when I was playing through LOTRO, I didn't know about the delete thing. So
Oh, gotcha.
that was why I didn't
You
know
know,
about
what makes it even more fun, Carve? Is
What?
if you turn off the UI completely. Just F12 it and run through, and hope you remember where your skills are on your stuff, and just guesstimate where you are on morale and stuff
I've done
No,
that.
that's the
I've done
noob
that.
way to play. What you need to do is turn off your monitor, and then you're really trying to find out
Hey,
what's
that's
going on.
the ultimate hardcore way. You have to play a little game by memory. You just have to go by sound. Wait, there's something near me.
Okay. Aerother, what were you up to?
I got impregnated by a spider.
What were you doing? Running skirmishes?
Yes. Actually. And finally fails it. Yeah.
That was the best thing ever.
I'm like, if it's not the skirmish spider, then we've got to have a talk. I'm sure Millennial's gonna be like, excuse me.
Yeah, she was a little like that when it happened too. Because we were on our we were on we did a stream today, just random cause a Tale of Two Squishies, and she got on her minstrel and I got on my runekeeper, and we did skirmishes and stuff together. And in Gondamon, there's a spider, and we're like, oh, it's a spider, and then suddenly I see on buff bars impregnated.
Yes.
Okay. And expired. I didn't have a little spider baby, so I guess everything was fine. But yeah, basically did that was the highlight of my week was getting impregnated.
Did you say that you had one or didn't have a spider baby?
I did not,
You didn't,
to my
but
knowledge.
if it expired, you should have.
I didn't notice.
You probably just gunned it down with all of your fire.
Yeah.
I was probably too worried about killing Big Mama Spider that I didn't notice that I may or may not have dwarf pooped out a little baby spider.
And you probably didn't notice it because he had a flame rock casting out
Yeah.
volcanic heat waves, and it just kind of got burned to a crisp on entry.
There was fire everywhere. Yeah, I did
Yeah,
that.
there was fire. Yeah, I have a feeling that baby spider died coming out.
Good. I didn't even get a chance to name it.
So Terry, what'd you do this
Aw.
week?
How about Crispy?
Crispy.
I did a lot of stuff, but my highlight happened earlier today. Actually, my hunter Illustrial ran her very first epic battle with Feedwick from Mythgard, who was also running first epic battle on that character. Discovered that the horses in the encounter side quest thingy are not actually supposed to be freed. Oops. You're supposed to. There's that encounter where you go down and you're supposed to defend the horses from the orcs.
Right.
And I've done that encounter several times. It's not one I'm terrifically familiar with, because the Helmsdike is probably the epic battle I've run the least, because it takes forever. So, not totally sure of what we were doing. I clicked on the horse, and hey, there's a little icon here, and it says let horse run back to Hornburg or wherever, and I was like, well, that sounds like it's a good thing. So I was going around clicking all of those, and it turns out that that's not actually what you're supposed to do. Oops. So yeah, we failed.
In all fairness, though.
So lesson learned.
In all fairness, that quest originally was something that you could do before the battle started, and you could run down there and make all the horses run back to the Hornburg. And so, if you got that side quest, you automatically got a platinum on it because you'd saved all the horses. So
Well,
that's the
interestingly
mechanic
enough-
they changed. They changed it so
Interestingly
it's the
enough, when we
opposite.
went down there, because I was showing her around, doing a little tour beforehand of this is where this happens and this is where this happens, and I think there's something over here, and I know this thing over here goes, and I'm not sure what these are for, but we'll figure it out. And so we go down to where I think the stables are, and the stables are there, but there's like nothing there. There were no horses, no commanders, no nothing.
Yeah,
It was
hide 'em.
weird.
They hide them before the instance, and then when it starts, you have to activate it when it goes. Yeah, I remember. I went down there with that very same reason, going, "Oh, I'm gonna let them go free and get my free platinum," and then they weren't there, and I was like, "Oh, they must have fixed that. Okay, cool." And then later on, when I got that side quest, I ran down like, "Oh, I'm gonna sell the horses free," and I failed. Yeah.
Oh,
So, Pineleaf, what'd you do?
All right. I did all sorts of things, but the highlight this week is that I was questing with Terry down in Moria. We were doing the first Zelamelech and then the starting points of the Red Horn loads. And while we were doing all this questing, we had another person that we weren't questing with him, but he was on the call with us since it was during a kin meeting. And we were all, of course, discussing Terry's favorite topic,
Down with
bows
bears.
with
Down with
Bjornings.
bears.
So, of course, down with bears is her favorite line whenever someone discusses bows with Bjornings. So, of course, that, as usual, came up, and around this time when I got to Red Horn Lows, I had decided that maybe to keep Terry Adwin from getting too upset, I got around to finally hiding my bow on my Bjorning. So at least not to rile her on this, but later on when we were fighting some orcs, she was saying it's tough. I can't remember her exact. You might remember the exact words better.
Yeah, I said it's hard to be afraid of all these orcs when my backup is a bear.
Yes, when your backup is a bear. Yes. So therefore, so
And
on
then
one
Tyler
hand she's
called
saying
me on
down
it.
with Bjornings, and now
Oh, I see how it is. You don't
See,
like the way they
I
hang
still
around and
think she's
talk.
being consistent because she's commenting on how like bears are so powerful. Why on earth should she worry?
Yeah,
That's
okay.
true. That's
Okay.
I'm
true.
seeing the consistency here.
You can spin
well,
it
I
that
guess you
way,
get a point with
Arthur.
that.
You can spin it. Go ahead. It's like the Globetrotters up in here. She's just spinning it. Anyway.
Yeah. Of course, I
All
mean
right.
like I thoroughly plan on enjoying my Bjorning when I play him, for sure.
Deal.
But at the same time, they're ridiculously overpowered, especially in the moors. Mainly in the moors, actually, but they're powerful other places.
All
Anyways,
right. Well,
down
then
with
you
bears.
could you'll play Bjornings with the guy from the movie.
What movie?
You know, the guy from the movie.
Oh, the guy from.
Yeah, that guy from that movie. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
I didn't finish the second one.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right. All right. Let's go into News Beyond Lotro. And this week's News Beyond Lotro are the Kings of Gondor, Part 8, Battle of the Plains.
In
Yes.
which Iogro takes us through some more of the Kings of Gondor stuff. Yay!
Yeah. And these are back finally. It has been a long time, but he had been helping out with Middle-earth lore script editing, and so now that that's not going on as much, he's able to do this. And so these articles are returning, which is awesome.
All right. And of course, that is concerning the Wainwriters. So let us then head into donations. And we currently have 18 supporters on Patreon. And if you would like to join this illustrious raid of players and help support local players, you go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest of an episode of Lotro Players News. And how far are we from the next goal?
Well, Pine Leaf, we are about $27 away from a 1-year Lotro VIP code giveaway. So that is very exciting, and I did a little bit of math this week.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know. Dangerous stuff.
Yeah, Dane.
And I figured out that if the regular visitors to the Players Alliance, so not like every visitor, just the regular visitors to the Players Alliance sites, gave an average of just 20 cents a month, which is less than 1 cent per day,
This sounds like some sort of ad from a charity.
then we could have a full-time employee on the Players Alliance, which would be awesome. And if we had on average like $1 a month, we could have 5 employees full-time. It would be awesome. So every little bit helps, and we would appreciate your guys' support. If you really like this show and the other stuff the Players Alliance does, feel free to support us on Patreon.
All right. We did not have any reviews this week from iTunes, but I'm sure Andang would love it if we get some.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yes. But we do have a featured comment from Eileen Pint, who left a comment on Lotro's Players News episode 122. Great episode. I haven't ever seen any of the chicken runs. What route does one take if one is taking a chicken to Minas Tirith or Helm's Deep?
Well, I'm assuming that I should probably be the one to answer this.
I think you're the
Yeah.
expert.
So
You
the
are
main,
the chicken
main
pro.
idea is that you take basically the road all the way to the fords of Bruinen, and then you don't cross them. You basically go to the water and turn right, and you swim down it until you get to the bridge of Hobbit Dune, which is like the tree bridge going down into Eregion, and
That's
you
what
go
they're about
across
to
the tree bridge
shut
down to Eregion, through Eregion, past all the trees, through Enedwaith, through the Bone Vales people. If you stay on the path, they won't bother you, and then through Dunland, which is kind of the tricky part. basically you try to work your way as far east in Dunland as you can, because in the part just south of Dunland, which is like the Fords of Isen area, there's stealth ranged mobs, which are the worst thing ever, because if they see you, you're dead essentially, because you can't run them off or disappear or anything like that. So the further east you get in Dunland before you go down into that area, the better. And then you go across the Fords of Ison, kind of go around Martin because there's lots of mounted yucky things in
Yeah.
Martin that are very fast. And so you kind of go around Martin, and then you basically just take the road to Helm's Deep if you want to go to Helm's Deep, or you just keep taking the road, and literally from there it's follow the road all the way down into Gondor, and you don't you don't go through Tarling's Neck.
No.
Um,
Oh, you don't?
no, you go through Tarling's Neck, not Tarling's Crown.
Right. Oh,
You
okay.
don't go through Tarling's Crown. You go through Tarling's Neck, and you basically again stick to the road all the way up until Harlond, and then you people. That's what people seem like they get stuck going through Harlond trying to get to Minas Tirith, but you don't actually go through Harlond. If you go slightly to the left of Harlond, there's like a little Morgul guy sitting on a pile of rubble, and you basically run straight past him because he's an awful, awful guard. And you go up that pile of rubble, and then there's like this nice mob-free wooded area, and then there's the breach in the wall of the Pelennor. And make sure to be very careful, because if someone's on the defending the Ramus quest, there'll be mobs popping up there, which is frustrating. So you have to be careful going through there because they will aggro on you first. And you basically go through the breach and then stick on the road and hope you don't get run over by anything trying to kill you, and go to Helm's Deep or Minas Tirith.
Nice. South Bell in the chat says Erithert is now director of chicken operations for LOTRO Players News.
Sounds good.
So yeah, I think that's your new title in LOTRO
I
Players
think I'm like
He's
the
a-
director of chicken operations for
for
a
LOTRO.
lot. No, not Lotra, because there's other folks that are involved with chicken play, but not as like across all servers thing.
You're on the board of directors for the LOTRO
Sure.
chicken play.
Sure, I'm on
For
the,
Lo-
I'm on the board of chicken.
He's
Chicken
definitely
directors.
a C-level executive, the CCO, Chief Chicken Officer.
Yeah. That works.
And I'd just like to point out that we have a tired dwarf in our chat. Thought that was kind of funny.
Is it paid position?
Yep.
Maybe never.
You get twice as much as all the rest of us combined.
Sounds great. We get paid KFC once a month. I'll be good.
It's not a bad deal.
It's not.
All right, then. We also have a comment from Twitter where Tom asked, quick question. Is there a kin you guys are all in? Would be great if to join with you all.
Well, there's not one we're all in, but there are several different kins that each of us are in. Pineleaf, why don't you go ahead and start off with some of the kins that you think would be good?
Well, of course, it'll depend on which server you're in. I am,
That's the question.
That is
Answer
the question.
No and yes.
Depends on the server.
Well, most
Right.
of us are on Landerville. In fact, now that Erithert moved over, we're all on Landerville. So let's just stick with Landerville, and then Erithert you can share on your other server.
Sounds good.
all right, then on... I really don't have a single kin I'm in on Landfills. Like, for example, my musician is in the Ninny Hammers because it's a band kinship. I have one character that's in a special kinship for that. I have one that's in the Myth Guardians. I don't think I have a single character, more than one character in a single kin on Landrival.
That's just craziness.
Yeah. So it's hard to
keep up.
recommend a. I don't think I'm in any general kins on Landrival right now. I think they're all special purpose kins.
Okay.
All my general
At least
kins
you're
are
not
on other
slamming your
servers.
fist on the desk going, "It's a casual kin. I know this."
Yeah.
All right. Next.
I'm actually not in a kin really anymore. And I'm kind of alright with that, believe it or not. I might join up with one again later. I was part of the Lonely Mountain Band and then just kind of stepped away for a bit and might join back with them or somebody else. But Just
You
kind
should
of
make
enjoying
your
it solo.
you should make your own you should make your own kinship name just to have something while
I've
you
He
wait for
did.
that.
That was Adventures with
well,
Braxwood. What
and I
happened to
had
that?
a kin that I was the head of earlier before that too.
No,
So
like you don't invite other people into it just to have something funny under your name. Like, maybe the Minas Tirith Mourners.
there we go. We need to create the Minas Tirith Mourners kinship. That's what needs to happen.
Perfect.
But
Yeah,
there
except the
there was
problem is,
Adventures of Braxwood, which we did create for LOTRO Players Adventures. That's not really an active kin anymore, but I am still in it. Can't really recommend it. But on my main, I'm not in a kin anymore. So,
it's a staffing skin, right?
yep.
Still, yeah. My kin is myself and a couple of friends and all of our alts. It's called Flame of Anor. So if you see anybody with the thing under the name that says Flame of Anor, the odds are good that it's probably me because I'm actually really the only one that's still active. Except for Chromite Swiftpaw, who's in Aerother's Twitch chat, still has a couple of his alts in Flame of Anor.
Now, is it
Anyone else?
Anor or Arnor?
It's
I-
Anor. It has something to do with Gandalf and the Secret Fire. I didn't actually pick the kinship name. My second in command picked our kinship name.
Well, there you go.
It's a lore reference, and it actually had started out as a different name because it had to do with where we all knew each other from before we came to Lotro. Because I actually knew 3 or 4 of the people that are in the kinship that aren't active anymore before they came. I actually got them to play Lotro with me. And then we ended up changing it to something that made us sound like we were more lore elite than we actually are.
All right.
Fantastic. Well, I guess it really depends on the server, but if we're sticking to Landreval, most of my alts are in the Golden Malorn, which is a casual kin, but we have a lot of fun on Landreval. However, I do have some other characters. I have one in my own storage kin, and then I have a couple elsewhere, like a couple Myth Guardians and whatnot.
On Landreval, I have, I think, only 2 kinships. I've got a couple that are in the Shirebound Bounders, and like are capped at level 8 that I haven't logged on into probably for like 2 years, which is a shame, because it's always fun. And which is like a roleplay kinship. Basically, they roleplay as literally bounders. Everyone's bounder. You go to like the meetings are bounder meetings, and you go on patrols every now and then. Like you literally, it's only in the Shire. You basically never leave. There's a couple people that have leveled on further that are the intrepid adventurers, but there's a good chunk of them that basically just cap at level 8 and stay in the Shire, which is kind of cool. Or level 10 if you're a big boss person. And I think I've got a couple in the Mythgard kinship. I don't know if I still have any in Department of Hobbit Security, which was the kinship that folks created on Landerval after Sapiens's runs through Moria.
Yep.
And then on Gladden, which is where I actually play, like 99.9 with a 9 over percent of the time, I think all of my alts actually are officers, which is kind of can be kind of annoying, but it's good. And they're in wow, the Ranges of the West. Wow, I totally forgot my kinship name. Don't tell anybody. I mean, they're all in the Ranges of the West, which is a very like a social kin. So I have a lot. I do have some. There's some folks that do like some tier 2 stuff, but for the most part, it's a very like a chill group of people that are all amazing and awesome, and I never want to leave. And then if we're talking about creeps too, all my creeps are in Nam's Ishtar, which
Yes,
Ishtar
that's
is
on
like
Glad.
black, yeah, on Latin. Ishtar is black speech for army, and Noms because Noms. So Noms, it's like the Noms army,
Yes,
which
which
there's a
is
lot of folks
awesome.
from my Twitch chat and stuff like that are in that as well.
And on Arkenstone, I'm in the and Pineleaf has Alton Academy too. We're on the Academy kinship on Arkenstone.
Right.
Because Lotro Academy.
Yeah, the bulk of my Arkenstone characters are in that kinship. Though I do have a couple that are in a band group. That's actually a splinter of of the academy, and that is academia.
Right. I only have 5 on Arkenstone currently, and I think they're all in Academy.
Right. Now, if you would like to email us or send us or contact us, then you could send an email to podcast@lotraplayers.com, and you could also follow us at Twitter. The Players Alliance is at Players Ally, Lotro Players at Lotro Players, Andang at PVMP_Andang, Arathert at Arathert, Carvet at Carvet LP, Maven at Tolkien Maven, Pineleaf at Pineleaf Needles, and Terry Adwin at Terry Adwin. The Players Alliance has several live shows every single week, and every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. Every other Thursday at 9 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. On Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lotro Players News, and every other Saturday after Lotro Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. You can join us for our live shows at lotraplayers.com/live. Thank you everyone for listening. This is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.